My name is Anthony Horowitz. I'm the author of Moriarty, and here I am in Berlin. It all began for me when I was 17 years old, and my father gave me as a Christmas present the complete works of Sherlock Holmes. And I remember that I read them and I was immediately captivated by them, by the atmosphere. London of the 19th century, the fog, the cobblestones, the carriages, the gas lamps, this whole extraordinary world. And it was the beginning of a lifelong journey. After the success of The House of Silk, everybody wanted me to write another Sherlock Holmes story. But I'm not the sort of writer who likes to repeat myself. I'd done it, I thought, well enough the first time, so why do it again? So I began to think, how can I revisit the world of Sherlock Holmes in a new way and do something very different? And then, of course, the thought came to me, Moriarty, the single greatest criminal in the world's literature. And it was such a wonderful idea to take a story about him. And then I began to think, if I'm writing about the most evil man in the world, is it possible to write an evil book? Normally when I write a book, I begin with nothing. I have a blank sheet of paper and my own imagination. This time I was given, as a gift, two of the greatest characters in English literature. I'm often asked which is the hardest audience, kids or adults, and I never think of it that way. I don't think about who I'm writing the book for. I don't worry that, oh, this is for children, therefore I've got to be careful with my language and, I can't have sex or too much violence. And I don't think, oh, this is for adults. How am I going to write this? Do I have to have more description? For me, I'm serving the book. I'm serving the story. And that's all that matters. So I think that Moriarty can be read very easily by 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. I think also that Alex Rider will give pleasure to adults if they are reading perhaps with their children. I never think very much of the audience. I'm focused entirely on the work. This is not my book. I don't exist. I'm writing as if it's Doyle. And so I had to do exactly what he did, and I made certain rules. I would do nothing in the books that Doyle himself had not done. The thing is that when you get to the end of a book, especially a thriller and a mystery thriller like Moriarty, the idea is that even if you're shocked and surprised, you still smile. Story has been the most important thing for me, always. That's what I most love. I love thinking up stories that will surprise people. I love to think of ideas that have never been done before. And all the time, every day, I have maybe 5 or 10 different ideas, sometimes more, it just depends. My next book is a murder mystery where the whole mystery can be solved on page 1. The identity of the killer, the reason for the crime, how it's all done. It's there on page 1, but you don't see it. And to me, that's a great challenge. Can I do this? Can I really give this book to a reader and get away with it? And that, to me, is fun. Fun is a big part of it, Writing is an adventure. And that's why I didn't do a second classic Sherlock Holmes Watson story, because I'd done it once. Do something different, keep moving, think up new surprises, think up ideas that have never been done. That's what I try to do. My next work is a play for the theatre, and it's about the Iraq War. It's set in Baghdad on the night of shock and awe when the city is bombed by the British and by the Americans, and it's a comedy. That's different. No one's done that before. Will it go on the stage? It looks as if it will next year. Will it succeed? I don't know, but that's part of the fun. I think that writers these days, modern writers, are very quickly pigeonholed. We are told, this is what we want you to write, so keep writing it. But I like to do things that are different and to dare to fail, to do things that maybe people won't like, because writing is an adventure. Why not? I love talking about ideas. My poor wife, I'll wake her up in the middle of the night and say, Jill, this is a new thought. What do you think of this? And sometimes she just leave me alone. Let me go to sleep, But we've been married 26 years, so it hasn't been too bad for her. And I can't tell you how excited I am to tell her about it. And sometimes she says, "Aunt, that's great, let's think about that, let's do it." And sometimes she just says, "Forget it, it's terrible." But then, I have a lot of ideas and they can't all be good. What Doyle did was to create the greatest friendship in English literature. And what's extraordinary is you cannot consider Sherlock Holmes without Dr. Watson. Holmes is cold, aloof, difficult. He's a drug addict. He's not really a very pleasant man. Watson, affable, friendly, humane, genial. He's us. And we need both of them together. He helps us to understand Holmes, and it's their friendship, their time together, that makes them so irresistible. I think if it was just one without the other, the magic wouldn't be there. When I was asked if I wanted to do Holmes, I had to think about it for maybe 5 seconds before I said yes. But for me, what mattered was that I loved the character. It's not about the money, it's not about having a successful book, it's about spending 6 months of my life at 221B Baker Street in the company of these two great people. It was a fantastic gift, and I began the book completely inspired, and I think I raised my game to write better than I'd ever written before. You'd look at the book and you'd say no, and you'd maybe even throw the book away, but then you'd have to get it again and look back and see how it all worked. That was the idea for the book. Thank you very much. My name is Anthony Horowitz, and I'm the author of Moriarty.